Hey there, it's Quinn with PTSD While Black. I'm doing a check in because I'm noticing I'm having some PTSD trauma triggers. I'm having triggers. They're not specifically, I think they're not tied to the rape, not tied to the fire or the car accident. It's more the racial trauma, a little bit of racial trauma, and like high school trauma. Weirdly enough, I'm experiencing doing some volunteer work, trying to get, my skills honed so that I can hopefully be able to earn. And I am doing this service position, and I'm working with a very challenging. It's like middle management, where you have a boss who does not listen or respond or is not organized and a shitty communicator, and then you have people that are on the committee with you that you're working with who are horrible communicators and control freaks, and you're having to manage them all. By the way, I'm totally getting to see myself at play about being the control freak uh, employee. By the way, God's giving me the chance to see this, but I'm realizing like I'm having PTSD nightmares in dealing with this, in dealing with the um, shutdown type behavior, and dealing with not being listened to, not having a voice, which is also what the rape created, was a moment of not having a voice. And I just noticed that my triggers, I don't necessarily need the touch point bracelets at night, but it's that the anxiety that my brain from the concussion still goes through. I've got to process this. I've got to process and find a solution for this type of behavior. It creates this constant loop, feedback loop, which is really challenging for me to deal with, and my brain can't shut down. Or I'm doing prayers at night. I'm like, okay, God, I give to you this thing I'm obsessing about. Okay, I give you this that I'm obsessing about. 80-year-old Quinn, I give you this. And it's like, as I give away one thing, another one comes up. And I'm like, oh, you're having a PTSD loop going on. And the fact is that my dreams are being impacted by this. And my dreams are starting to be violent and bloody and nightmarish. And I'm not okay with that. um, so or they're just deeply emotionally disturbing kinds of dreams. um and I know it's unexplored trauma, unaddressed trauma. That's the word I want. It's unaddressed trauma that is continuing to come up to the surface. And I realize that the situation I'm in today is not the same as the past job or my high school experience. It's not the same. Um, and I'm realizing that the choice that I have now, I have new choices today as an adult to be able to say to this one person that's getting on my nerves, I need to talk with you because I don't think I understand your vision. I don't think I understand your purpose. And this is what I need in order to do my job on this committee. And I'm not advocating for myself. I really am not. Um, and so I'm realizing that I have to um, create balance for myself. I originally, when taking the commitment, it was through November, but my term as an officer actually ends in June. So I'm realizing I'm just going to honor my original term ending in June. Let's do a 90-day drawdown plan of how to best serve, because the PTSD nightmares are not okay. It's not okay for me to go into that, because the more stress that I have, the less sleep I have, the more likely I'm to have the seizure like episodes. And I do not want that. Because like the last one took me like 16 days to fully be back to my normal happy-go-lucky self. Um, and I really don't want that in my life. 16 out of, well, yeah, February only had 28 days. So 16 out of 28 days, 12 days of being a functional human being. And then the rest is like, your brain's like, bah. No, thank you. So I'm really having to deal with having to advocate for myself, advocating for whatever it is that I need. Knowing that I'm someone who lives with post-traumatic stress disorder, knowing I'm someone who lives with a brain injury, that I have concussive symptoms and still the undiagnosed, whatever the seizure like episodes are that are really challenging my entire body now. Um, and I have to advocate for me that, okay, working in this way doesn't work for me. And thank you for this opportunity. This is what I'd like to offer. But I'm realizing too, oh shit, okay, another subject. I'm realizing too, I had a boss years ago who told me, Quinn, you give people a Rolls Royce when they just needed a Pinto. And when I was 19 years old and I was a nanny, and the grandparents of the kids were like, Quinn, you really made a silk purse out of a sow's ear when I helped the girls get really good grades in school. And so it's the I know I have this capacity to do great and wonderful and amazing things, but sometimes the situation doesn't ask for me to do great and wonderful, amazing things. It's great that I could work well and do the best with these children, but with regards to the jobs, it's like if they're asking you for the bare minimum, give them the bare minimum. And with this committee that I'm working on, I'm like, I know I've just walked into a pigsty. I know I have walked into a space with pigs, and that, I'm going to get muddy with them if I choose to wrestle with them, or if I choose to put lipstick on this pig. I mean, I'm good at dressing up pigs. I mess up pigs anyway. um, and it's just this reality of this calls for a Pinto. This is what they need is a Pinto, and I'm giving them a Rolls Royce. And I'm doing it at the expense of my own health. And so I need to step back. I need to evaluate what my needs are, evaluate and understand their vision and what their needs are, and accept their vision is correct for them. It does not have to be correct for me. So, yeah, that's just some insight that I'm getting. So I can have some different choices around these PTSD triggers, which I can't do anything about that. PTSD is real, it exists. I can't do anything about it. But what I can address is how I choose to advocate for myself in these situations, how I choose to have community and support for myself in these situations. So, yeah. For that, I am grateful. And with that, I will pass. Till next time, friends. Peace.